Hello and welcome to Traffic Paradise Radio. I'm Uno, and joining me today is Kira, which feels like it's the first time in forever.
Hello.
So welcome,
It
Kira. So
has
excited
been.
to have you here. How have you
Thank you,
been?
Uno. I've been good. Just busy. University starting again soon and just being kind of chaotic, but I'm here now. Woo.
Well, we're so happy to have you back. Um, Immy was supposed to join us, but is feeling a little bit under the weather. So you'll see some of her predictions come up on screen. We didn't have time to change the graphics. But yeah, so Immy is with us in spirit. And we wish her a swift recovery because I
Indeed.
think, yeah, Immy's awesome and we miss her. So, Immy, get better and come back soon. Yeah, but with that said, we're here to talk about the 2025 Singapore Grand Prix and our predictions, who we think is going to make it onto the podium, and any other wild predictions we might come up with. I was watching the replay or the highlights of last year's race on YouTube before we started the stream, and I couldn't believe like so much happened at that race, even though a lot didn't happen at all. Like a lot of people said it was a very boring race, but that was actually Daniel Ricciardo's last race.
It was both boring and crazy.
Yeah, but I'd completely forgotten about that. And then there was all the drama with like Magnussen and Ricciardo trying to get fastest lap. And like so many things happened. Carlos Sainz crashed in qualifying. Charles Leclerc got his lap time deleted in qualifying, so they started like P9 and P10. Perez was kicked out in Q2. So much happened. Like quali was definitely more exciting than the race itself, I think. But yeah, it was very, very chaotic and interesting. And I do wonder if we'll get more of the same this year. So let's just jump straight into it, Kira, with our predictions. I think Emmy's prediction will come up first. So for pole position, who did Immy predict?
Lando.
Lando Norris. Okay, so Emmy's thinking that he'll have a bit of return to form after a very disastrous weekend in Azerbaijan. And who have you chosen for pole position, Kira?
I have also gone for Lando, actually. I just think that he's got a little bit of that edge on everyone else because he won here last year by a huge margin. And I just think that basically he's the one to beat. And with Oscar coming off of a really terrible weekend, maybe he won't be able to match him.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, he was, again, like as I said, I watched the highlights and he finished so far ahead of everyone else. It was kind of crazy. It was such a solid victory from him. And although he did have one moment where I think he like just gently touched the wall or almost touched the wall. He had like a lockup and, but for the most part, it was a very solid race from him. So I think he'll be very keen to repeat that again this year because he definitely needs it if he wants to keep fighting for this championship.
Especially with the rate at which Max is coming back.
Yep, that is definitely something that. So I'm just gonna point it out that I had been saying like the whole of the pick a number one driver because when Max has comes fighting again, they're gonna need to have this sorted, and they haven't sorted it yet. And now Max is coming back fighting. So it should be very interesting to see what happens over the next few races because if Max can win the next two races, for example, I think McLaren are going to be in a very tricky situation because they're going to have to pick a number one driver. And it's going to cause so much drama. So, yeah, it would be in Lando's best interest to be doing as best as he can over the next two races or so. So I think he'll be very happy with the pole position. But I've gone with Oscar Piastri because I think he has a lot to prove. He's had two poor showings in the last two races. And although he still has a significant lead in the championship, it is only one race victory. And if he has a DNF and Lando wins, that gap is basically gone. So he's going to want to come out fighting. I think he will be a little bit cautious. especially in like free practice, and Q1 and Q2, he's just going to get those lap times in. But I think in Q3, he will go for it because he knows that if he wants to, keep Lando behind him and also fend off a title fight from Max Verstappen, he's going to need to be putting in some super fast laps. And I think he's going to have the mentality to do that. So I'm backing Oscar this week. And yeah, what do you think about that, Kira?
I mean, like, I really love rooting for Oscar. It's really good. And also, obviously, Immy is a massive Oscar fan. I'm surprised that she doesn't have the same faith as she normally does. Also, I looked at the point standings, and Oscar can actually afford to DNF again even if Lando won it, because he's still got I think it's like a 28 point gap. So
I think
he's
it's
still
25
got.
points.
Okay, so 25. Well, that means if Oscar DNF'd and Lando won,
Yeah,
yeah,
they'd be
which
equal
is
then.
kind
So
of
it's not the end of
mental.
the world, but he would lose his lead.
Yeah. And obviously,
Yeah.
then chances are Max would creep back up again, and even George. Like, we need to talk about how well George has done over the last few weeks. Like, so far
George did
in the
exceptionally well last weekend, I thought.
George is actually
Considering where he
running.
started and where he ended, I thought it was very good.
George is actually running second place in the King of the Streets leaderboard.
Yeah. So I can't. Did he have that funny crash at Singapore a few years ago, or was that at a different street track?
Oh, yes, it was. It was Singapore, because it was
It was like the last
2023.
lap or the second last lap or something, and he went into the wall.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
So
he was
like,
chasing Carlos and Lando.
yeah, and if you look at that performance compared to how he's been doing on street tracks lately, like you can definitely see like a noticeable improvement. So I think George will also have a few points to prove this year and just sort of bring it home with like, I think I could totally see him like on the podium. I haven't personally predicted that, but I can totally see him ending up on the podium here. I think it's definitely a possibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
He's
let's have a.
he's really come
Oh
with a
yeah,
force.
sorry.
I was just gonna say that he's really come with a force.
Yeah, yeah. And I think he's practicing for next year, when I think he'll have a much more competitive car, one would hope, for his sake. But yeah. So let's have a look at what Neve, Lee, Tay, and Willow have predicted. Oh, that's a lot of papaya. Okay.
Ouch.
So Tay and Lee agree with me and think that Oscar will be on pole, and Willow and Neve agree with you and Immy and say that Lando will be on pole.
So it's basically an even split between the McLarens as usual.
Yeah. And I think it's quite funny because we're usually quite what's the word? We usually like have recency bias. And given how poorly the two McLarens performed last week, it seems quite strange that we've all gone for a McLaren on pole this week. We would usually like change our stance, and maybe you'd see a couple Maxes up there, or maybe even a George. But no, we've gone with an all McLaren pole position prediction. So
I am surprised.
yeah, we'll look really stupid if Max pops it on pole, or Charles, or George. But anyway, this is what we've decided for ourselves, and we will live with the consequences. Okay, so let's take another step now and look at who's going to be in third place, P3 on the podium. Who has Immy predicted?
Lando.
Ooh,
Wait, but she predicted him for pole.
Oh, so are we going to see some fabulous McLaren pit stops happening here in Singapore?
To be fair,
they haven't been good.
Lando's recent pit stops have been atrocious. Like, I can't remember the last time he had a good one.
Yeah, no, he's had some terrible luck in the pit lane, and I think that's what Immy is sort of channeling here.
I mean, that was
I
the
could totally
reason.
see him. Yeah,
That was the reason in Baku why he wasn't able to overtake Lawson and Sonoda.
Yeah. McLaren definitely, like, they to forgive my French, shat the bed on that one. So yeah, I can. It's very unfortunate to say, but I could totally see them doing it again in Singapore. So unless they've been doing a lot of practice at the factory this past week, they better hope that they are on top of things when it comes to the pit stops this upcoming weekend. Yeah. Okay, so Kira, who have you gone for P3? Ooh.
Yeah. So I just think that Kimmy suffered from the Europe curse. And since we're going to Singapore, which is about as far on the F1 calendar as you can get other than like Australia, I think he's going to do pretty well. I know that he has never raced at Singapore, but his track record this year, he seems to be doing better at tracks where he has never raced before.
Do they have, what's that funny chemical in the water that everyone says?
I was just about to say that it is allowed there. So Kimmy will be fine. A good race from Kimmy. Yeah.
What is that chemical called? It's such a funny like stat, but like in all the countries where that chemical is banned, Kimmy does poorly. In all the countries where it's not banned, Kimmy does well. It's a strange like correlation, but not necessarily causation things. But it is a funny stat nonetheless.
Yeah, I think it's titanium dioxide.
Okay, so titanium dioxide. Okay, well, yes. Kimmy, I hope you have a lot of titanium dioxide this weekend. I hope it's not bad for you. I don't know what the long-term consequences are of titanium dioxide, but
it's often a food additive, so I don't know.
Consult a doctor, take it in moderation, and you should be good. I mean, there's lots of things of food additives that shouldn't really be in food, but anyway, we won't go there. we're not part of nutrition YouTube, so we'll just move along. Yeah, so I've gone for in P3. What? I've gone for Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be silly. I don't know, but I think, yeah, they didn't have a great time out last time, as I said, but I think they'll try Baku. So I think that the car will hopefully perform better for them there. And yeah, you know, I don't know. I had to put someone up there, and that's who I went with. Don't ask me why. I just felt like Charles is in with a shot this weekend. I'm probably wrong, and that's okay. But it also does add some nice color to the predictions for once. So there we go.
I feel like we need to talk about how atrocious this season's been for Ferrari.
My goodness.
Like, this is the first year in, well, years that they haven't got a win yet.
Yeah, I
mean, Hamilton hasn't even been on the podium.
I know, it's shocking. And I was looking, so the last time Ferrari won a driver's championship, okay, was 2007.
Yeah.
I mean,
the last time they won a race
20 years ago.
The last time they won a race, it was Carlos Sainz
in Mexico.
Yes, so it was Carlos.
That's almost a full year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to come up with something here. And like even Monza, like they couldn't get their shit together. So yeah. Yeah, very, very bizarre from Ferrari this season. I do think they were one of the teams that just decided to focus more on next year. And, you know, we'll see whether that bears fruit in the coming season. But yeah, this season, not looking good. Very sad to see Ferrari doing so poorly. But, you know, Singapore is a race where a lot can go wrong for a lot of different people. And I feel that like Charles is very much equipped to take advantage of that. Unless, of course, he's the one that the bad things happen to, which often happens as well. So he's either going to DNF or he's going to be on the podium. That's my prediction.
Oh, it's the same thing with Kimmy, though. It's always the same. Like either he does amazingly or he crashes into someone.
Didn't he crash into Charles last time, or was that Lewis?
In Zandvoort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who has everyone else predicted? Let's move away from the two unlucky ones. Okay. Oh, look. Who's that in the black Mercedes colors there?
Gorgeous teal right there. Or should I say
There we go.
Georges?
Georges. Oh, very good, Kira. Very good. I
Thank you.
approve of that play on words. Very nice. Yeah. So Tay has gone for George Russell in P3. I can totally see that happening. So I think that's a good call. Neve and Willow have gone for Oscar Piastri in P3, which I think he would be happy with. He'd add some more points to his haul, and he'd prevent any sort of massive cut into his lead. He'd still, be leaving there. If he was in P3, he'd still be leaving with at least a 10-point, with at least a 15-point gap. So yeah, I think that's a good call from Willow and Neve. And then Lee has agreed with Immy and has said Lando Norris in P3, which again, I think that McLaren will be happy with that, given how poorly they performed last weekend. I think they'd be happy to be back on the podium. I think Lando would be a lot happier if he's on the podium and Oscar is not. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Any thoughts, or can we move along?
I think that's it for me. It's pretty mixed bag, to be honest. I think nobody knows because of like how Baku and Monza went.
Yeah, it is a bit of a mystery. Okay, so let's move on to P2. Here's where people start to get a bit more confident, and we'll see how much confidence they have in the McLarens by how orange this prediction is. So Immy has gone for
Max
Verstappen. Okay,
this is a very good prediction, actually.
Solid call. Yeah, fresh off his victory at something at Nürburgring, which I wasn't paying attention to, but I know he won it. I think he was driving a Ferrari, strangely enough.
He was.
But yeah, so I mean, you can win in a Ferrari. It is possible.
He's the first Ferrari driver to win this year.
No, Maya Vuch has won.
Oh yeah, of course.
Maya Vuch, like the best Ferrari driver in the Formula series that they have.
Just put her in the car at this point, please.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, I can totally see Maya Vuch. They should totally give her like an FP1 session. Like, I would love that.
I agree.
Anyway,
that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they need to. Okay, yeah. Tell us about your P3.
I've gone for Lando.
P2.
See, I obviously predicted Lando on pole, and assuming that Oscar has another terrible race, I mean, not that he's going to, I don't want to jinx that. But I just sort of feel like he might be Oscar might be around like 4th, 5th-ish. That kind of depends on if Kimmy can basically just pull another Canada. But Lando has had that little bit of a better edge on Oscar recently, and I feel like that'll lead to him like staying pretty high up. I feel like he's not going to take pole. I feel like he's not going to take the win, even though he has pole. But I feel like he can definitely fight to stay in P2.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that happening. I think he'll be very happy if he gets a P2 and Oscar's in like P5 or P6. That would be a very solid result. I think he'd net like about 8 or 10 points from that. So yeah, he'd be very happy, I think. So yeah, good call. And I have gone for, I think I also, I went for Oscar. Okay. I thought I went for Max. Whoops. Okay. So, whoops.
Change your mind.
Sure? Did I really predict that? I'm so confused now. Okay, anyway, that is whatever says that I trust Immy, and her ability to copy down what I wrote in the Discord is probably much better than my ability to remember it. So yeah, I've gone for Oscar Piastri.
You have indeed predicted Oscar P2.
Okay, there we go. Okay, no, that's good. I can't remember why, but sure, why not? Oscar P2. Sure. For all the reasons I stated previously, for whatever reason, like with the poll and everything, Oscar P2 makes sense in my mind. I thought I had predicted someone else, but anyway, it's all good. Oscar P2, a solid drive from him. Get back in control of the championship. I think he'll be very happy with that. And even if it does turn out that like Lando wins it, it would only be a a 7 or an 8 point that sort of whatever in the championship, he'd still have like a 30. No, what would it be if he's got 25 and there's a 7? He'd still have like a 17-point lead in the championship, so I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's take a look at what everyone else has predicted.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can generally tell how much confidence we have in McLaren by how orange the podium is. And this is possibly the least orange P2 podium we've had this season, maybe except for the first race of the year.
Wow.
So Lee and Neve have gone with Immy and agree that Max will be in P2. And Tay and Willow agree with you, Kira, and say that Lando will be in P2. I'm the only one with Oscar in P2, so bodes well for me.
Do people have more or less faith in Oscar, though?
Sorry?
Do the others have, like, more faith in Oscar, like P1, or, like, less?
Well, I think that's a great question. So let's move on then to P1 prediction and see who we think is going to win. So I know I've read everyone's predictions, but I can't remember what they are. I think Immy will go with
Oscar.
Let's see. Lando.
Okay. Should we?
I don't know.
Oscar.
No, Oscar.
Yeah, I was right.
Of course
okay.
she went for Oscar. Of course
it's
she went
Immy,
for Oscar.
of course.
I think she put Lando P2 anyway. P3, but anyway. Yeah. Oscar for Immy, that makes sense. He'll be happy. She'll be happy. We'll be happy for her. So wonderful for Oscar. Great. Kira, who have you predicted? Ooh.
Hi.
Interesting.
So George is very good in Singapore. Other than the time that he crashed, considering that when he crashed, he was running in P2. He was.
He was.
Okay, and I can't remember where he came last year, but I remember it being good. So I want to say that he's got a good chance, especially with his like record around like street tracks.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm gonna just quickly Google it. And see where he finished last season. He was 4th.
Okay, yeah. So considering the car that Mercedes had last year, that was exceptionally good. So I think
he was a minute off of the lead. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, but that's kind of skewed considering Lando won by 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, George was 61 seconds behind Lando. So, like, and I feel like the Mercedes was a better car last season. I don't know.
A better car? No, definitely, absolutely not. Last year's Mercedes was terrible until about Brazil.
I don't know. Didn't Lewis win in Lewis won in Silverstone?
Yeah, we had that one run of like 3
and
George races.
won. George also won in.
George won in Austria because Lando and Max crashed.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
So,
yeah. But I still think that the Mercedes last season was better than it is now. But I can see that George could pull out a sneaky win here if things go his way. So
I have a feeling that Mercedes are just like capitalizing off of the fact that Ferrari and Red Bull have gotten worse. Like way worse.
Because that's the Constructors' Championship is quite close between P2 and P4. So this would really help Mercedes sort of secure that P2 position.
Yeah, which currently they have, but only by about 4 points. So
yeah, it's very close. It's very close.
I think that's why my predictions have gone this way, so that we can like pull ahead of Ferrari a little bit.
Okay, cool, interesting. And then I have gone for dun, dun, dun. Who have I gone for? Who did I predict, Kira?
Oh, Max
Verstappen. Okay, so this is a little bit of, shall we say, like foreshadowing coming coming true, because I said so much about how McLaren need to pick a number one driver to prevent Max Verstappen from overtaking them in the championship, and their failure to do so, I think now Max is going to walk away with this championship. I mean, he's not going to walk away with it. It will be a fight, and it will probably go down to Abu Dhabi. But Abu Dhabi, that's not a place, Abu Dhabi. So, yeah, I think that Red Bull have found something in that car. We saw it last week. Obviously, Max won the race. Yuki he had his best qualifying performance and his best finishing position for Red Bull. And he actually had the second best finishing position of his career, strangely enough.
Really?
Yeah, I think, yeah. He's only, so his best finish was, strangely enough, Abu Dhabi 2021. No one really noticed it because of all the other drama.
I know.
He came P4 and he nearly got the podium on the last lap from Carlos Sainz. So that was his best performance. And then last weekend was his second best performance of his career in terms of where he finished. So obviously, if you exclude sprint races. So yeah,
that's amazing.
I think that Red Bull have definitely turned a corner, and they're going to be someone to really watch out for. And I think obviously Max is on a tremendous run at the moment, and if he's got confidence in that car, he's going to have confidence in his abilities to win this race. And I think it would be foolish for anyone to discount him at this point in the season. He might not win everything, but he's going to try his damnedest to do it, and he's definitely not going to finish races off of the podium, I think, from now until the end of the season. So, yeah. I've gone for Max, and I think that's a pretty solid prediction.
I think so, too.
Yeah. So, let's see. Okay. We've got one Oscar, one George, and one Max. Who, if anyone, agrees with us, Kira?
Ooh.
Okay. So Neve with a sneaky Lando win there. Interesting.
When was the last time Lando won?
What?
When was the last time Lando won a race?
Oh, God, I don't know.
It's been a while. Actually, now that you think about it. Has it?
It's like at least... Well, he hasn't won the last 2 times.
No.
Hold on.
Oh, he won Hungary.
There. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, look, Oscar hasn't won a race in a while either. So, I think...
True.
It's
been longer, actually.
All interesting predictions, so yeah.
I know. Oscar
so Lee and Tay think that Oscar's going to do it. Yeah. Did he? Zandvoort? Yeah.
Oscar won Zandvoort, yeah.
Okay, so Willow agrees with me. Willow is a big Max fan, so there might be a little bit of bias there, but I think still a good prediction nonetheless. And Kira, no one seems to agree with you with George, so you might just sneak out a very important point here, and all of us have got it wrong. So good luck to you.
Like I do.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a point for a Max win, so I'm hopeful for myself. Thank you. But yeah, I think this has got to be one of the more interesting predictions we've had. There's 4 people that we've predicted to win, which I don't think we've had that many different drivers predicted to win a race this season. So things are definitely getting interesting. I'm going to say that much. But where it really becomes interesting is our wild card predictions. So let's move on there. I'm just going to bring up the predictions here on my phone so I can see them. But the first prediction is Immy. And Immy said, whoa, this is a crazy wild card prediction from Immy.
Oh?
Immy says there will be an incident-free race.
Ooh.
In Singapore.
Now, okay.
That is the wildest of wild card predictions.
I don't think that's ever happened. I want to say I don't ever remember there being an incident-free race in Singapore, like ever.
Yeah, this should be very, very interesting. So I think Immy's definitely she's taking a wild swing here, but it could be very good because I think a lot of people have predicted like incidents within the race. So if Immy's right, a lot of people are definitely not going to get points. So it might be a very strategic play here by Immy. So we look forward to seeing how it turns out. Kira, what have you predicted for the wildcard prediction?
Well, mine is the entire antithesis to Immy's. So I predict there'll be at least 2 DNFs.
There we go. Okay. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So only one of you two can get points now. Like one or the other, not both. So that's an interesting strategy there by Immy. Curiously, so I see that there's a Ferrari driver on the picture. The pictures don't always correspond to who we think is going to be DNFing. But if you had to put money on who you think the 2 people would be, who would you think?
Oh my lord. I'm just gonna throw names out there. If it had to be 2, I would say probably Colapinto and I don't know, Hamilton probably, knowing his luck.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Actually, that's not a bad shout. Actually. Okay. So Colapinto and Hamilton. That's not for points. We won't take away your points if it's not them. But that is an interesting take. I think Colapinto, he's actually done very well in the last couple of races. He had a horrible bump from Alex. I think it was Alex in Baku. And he was actually running like in 13th or 12th place, and then Alex like just bumped him off of track or into the wall. He thankfully recovered, but yeah, he lost so many places from that and just wasn't able to recover from there in the race. So I would hope for Colapinto's sake that he's able to have a more solid weekend. But yeah, I do think that this is one of those tracks where someone like Colapinto can be caught out. So we'll see how it goes. He did have let's see. I feel like, oh no, that's not what I want. I feel like Colapinto didn't do too badly last season.
He got several points last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking specifically at Singapore. I'm just gonna check the results here. Colapinto came 11th last year, which is a very solid position. The only midfield driver. Let's see. So who was out? Yeah, the Alonso and Hulkenberg were the 2 midfield drivers who got through into the points last season. So
Hulkenberg is interesting. Oh yeah, I guess that Haas wasn't too bad at that point in the season.
He wasn't in a Haas, was he? Oh yeah, he was in a Haas. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. He was in the Haas, and obviously Alonso in the Aston Martin. They got P8 and P9 respectively, and Perez came in P10, and Colapinto was P11. So not a bad showing from Colapinto. So yeah, I think he could have a good race this year. Let's hold our thumbs for him and see how it goes. But the person I think who's going to have a really good race in Singapore this year is Yuki Tsunoda. What is that picture? Why is he have no background? Anyway, okay.
Immy just made smaller. Background. Somehow.
Maybe there is a background. It's just like very dark clouds following him, which seems appropriate and poetic. But yeah, I think that Yuki's going to have a top 5 finish. I think he did very well last weekend, and I think he's going to continue building on that performance. And just a little bit of a very sad statistic. It's doesn't really count as a statistic, I don't think. But in 2023, when everyone was raving about Liam Lawson making it into he made it into Q3, and everyone was like, "Oh wow, so good!" And I think he even beat Max in in qualifying.
Yes, because Max had a stinker.
And everyone was raving about it. And what was unfortunately overlooked was the fact that Yuki was by Max Verstappen, and he couldn't set a fast lap because of it. So he was unfortunately the victim of traffic paradise, and he got kicked out in Q2. But his Q1 time was actually faster than his Q2 time. And if he had just repeated that time, he would have gone through. So he definitely had pace in Singapore, and that was in an Alpha Tauri, okay? The saddest thing that if you look at the Q3 times and the Q1 times, the drivers that got through to Q3, and if you look at their times from Q1 and you look at the average improvements across all the drivers from Q1 to Q3, had Yuki had the same average improvement from Q1 to Q3, he would have had pole position.
What?
Yes. So Singapore is definitely one of those things that within Yuki Nation is like the one that got away. Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those weekends that will forever be like, my God, how unfortunate. And then I think he got taken out of the race as well. Like someone crashed into him. And it was just like, it was horrendous. Okay. It was such a bad race for Yuki. And so I really feel like Singapore owes him. Like that's the only way I can say it. It's like Singapore owes him. He had so much potential there and it was just wasted. And through no fault of his own in 2023. In 2024, he did manage to get into Q3. He unfortunately finished in P12. I can't exactly remember. I think there was like a bit of a strategy call that happened.
Yes.
And you know,
it's because no, I remember this. They basically sacrificed Yuki's pit strategy to favor Ricardo so that he could get a fastest lap.
Oh, is that what had happened? Okay. So
yeah, basically they pit Daniel first when they should have pit Yuki first because Yuki was ahead.
Okay, yeah, because they wanted to give Ricardo a nice send-off. I remember now. Okay, so yeah, so Yuki's not had the best of luck in Singapore, despite having a lot of potential there. So I feel like this year it's all going to come together for him. He's got the momentum. He's got a car now that he can actually drive, which has not been the case for most of the season. So I think that we're going to see some amazing performances from him over the coming races, and I think it's going to start here in Singapore. So that is
do you remember at the very start of the year that your year-long prediction was that Yuki would get a podium?
Yep, I have not forgotten.
It feels like we're getting a bit close to that.
I remain hopeful.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I remain hopeful. If he could get 2, okay, so this is where things. So like, I understand that he might not be on the grid next year, and I can accept that begrudgingly. I don't think it's fair, but like, it is the way things go. But if he gets a podium, okay,
that changes everything.
Hey,
that just changes everything if he could do that. To be honest,
I don't know. I don't know if it would change anything, to be perfectly honest. But what I do know, what would happen is it would change the history books, because he would go from being this like, everyone hates him, Honda merchant driver. Not everyone hates him, but you know, he doesn't have the nicest. People don't say the nicest things about him, but he would go from this driver who everyone like throws shit at to being the most successful Japanese driver of all time, because he would equal the podium counts of people like Takuma Sato and Kamui Kobayashi. But on top of that, he would have the most races of any Japanese driver, the most laps led of any Japanese driver. And if he could get 2 podiums, he would absolutely cement himself as the greatest Japanese driver in Formula One of all time. And if he has to go out this season, my God, is that not a way to go out and tell everyone to go fuck themselves? So Yuki,
that would be beautiful.
If you can't keep your seat, the least you can do is give them all a big fucking middle finger as you leave. So I'm behind you, bro. We're gonna do this. Let's fucking go. So that's my whole prediction right there. But anyway, moving on. Let's see what everyone else predicted for their wildcard prediction. So we'll start with Neve. Neve, a little bit of a funny one here. It says a yellow flag in quali. Now
that happens. I'm surprised they allowed that.
But isn't it usually a red flag in quali?
No, because yellow flags can be put up for anything. Like if a driver even just goes off track.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay. So So Neve with a very Okay, but in fairness, in Singapore, there's not really places where a driver can go off.
That's true, except for like the big curve before, like just before the start finish line.
Yeah, so let's see how it goes. I think this is the only track where this kind of prediction would actually be allowed, I think, because as you say, like in every race they can have runoff, but this is one of the few races where they don't have any runoff, or at least very little. So, okay, so Neve, we will accept your prediction for now. But Lee, what did Lee predict? Ooh. Lee said there would be a last lap incident. Oh no, I just realized what that photo is.
Oh my gosh.
It's
You're
George.
joking.
It's George. Okay, so we've spoken a lot about that, so we won't repeat it. But Lee thinks that there will be a last lap incident, which, yeah, I think that's fair. That's a fair prediction. Tay has said that, let me go find it, there will be 2 safety cars during the race. And Willow has said that Lawson will be in the top 6. So what maybe between Willow and myself, we're predicting that Lawson and Tsunoda will basically switch places from last week. That would have both of us very happy with our predictions. So there we go. But those are our wildcard predictions. So basically, let's have a look here. Tay, Kira, and Lee cannot get a point if Immy gets a point. And Immy cannot get a point if Kira, Lee, or Tay get a point. So we have a very interesting sort of face-off here, because one cannot win while the other one wins. And that's very interesting to me. So Lee can get Lee's... Okay, if Tay's prediction comes right, that means Lee's prediction could possibly be right, and vice versa. Kira as well. Or is that in quali, your prediction? No,
my prediction's in the race.
Yeah. Okay, so Kira and Lee can help Tay and vice versa, but like Immy's all on her own there. So good luck to Immy. Me and Willow, I think, are like kind of working together here for our drivers, so that's cool. And Neve is going with a very bizarre strategy, but one that's likely to net her a point. So definitely playing the clever game. I've gone out on a bit of a limb here, but I'm just gonna say the most amazing things about Yuki until the end of the season. In case this is the last season, I can talk about him. So yeah.
Yeah, just stand firm.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So those are our predictions for the Singapore Grand Prix next weekend. Any further thoughts, Kira?
I just hope that it's a little bit more interesting than last year. I feel like last year the whole like plot of the race was just it's Daniel Ricciardo's last race and Lando's winning by half a minute. I want there to be a bit more action than that this year.
Yeah, it was like the race was more about like Ricciardo. So like the things that were happening not on track were far more interesting, and there was far more drama happening off track than on track last year. And I would like that to not be the case this year. Yeah, it just seems it was very sad. You know, also for Ricciardo, I just think it was. Look, there's been some, like, I've heard 2 different versions. Like, either he said that he didn't want it to be announced because he thought there was a way he could like redeem himself in Singapore, and then they'd reverse their decision. On the other hand, you've heard things like saying that like, no, they didn't want to announce it, and you know, so they didn't give him like a send off. I don't know. It just, I don't feel like a driver who's achieved so much in the sport should go out in such like a anonymous way. It was very sad. He didn't get to do any cool spins or like donuts on track or anything like that, which is usually the tradition for drivers who are leaving. You know, when it's their last race, they put on a bit of a show for the crowd, and Daniel didn't get that. And so I hope that this year will be more about what happens on track and not off track. But yeah, you know, we'll see how it goes. And if you're interested in finding out what we think about the race, make sure you please subscribe and tune in next week, Monday. So obviously not tomorrow, but the Monday, the following week, where we will be giving you our reaction to the 2025 Singapore Grand Prix. And if you enjoyed this live stream, or if you're watching it later on, please leave us a like and, share it with your friends, whatever. We don't mind. We'd actually very much appreciate that. Yeah. And that's all from myself and from Kira. Kira, thank you so much for joining us. It's been forever and we have missed you dreadfully.
It has.
So I'm so happy
Thank
that you
you.
could come back this week.
It's been lovely to be back.
And all the best. Uni starting. Is uni starting? Has it started already, or it's starting like next week, or what?
Next week. Next week.
Next week. Okay. Well, all the best for uni, and go give them hell in the most academic way possible.
Woo! Thank you.
I don't even know if that makes sense, but just be great.
Does.
Be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo. Okay.
So that's all from us. Thank you for tuning into Traffic Paradise Radio. We will see you at the Singapore Grand Prix reaction video. And all that's left to say is have a good rest of your day or night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.